I'm gonna have to. I got a lot of cleanup stuff to do because we had that little problem.
We had a
So
bit of a problem today.
I'm actually just gonna take a step back, and Jeff, you're just gonna have to start bringing them in to the show, man.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is the cast at Glocker. This is Matt Green. He's our tech guy this evening. We also have help with the tech. With Josh Petrowskis is here, and I'm glad he's here because we had something weird just happen, and that's why we're a little late starting today. But Matt Green, Jeff Frederick, we're the cast at Glocker, and today we are at the State Theater in Boyertown, the historic State Theater. And we have two guests with us. We have Charles Haddad. He's the board president, correct?
President of the board, that's correct.
President of the board. I said it wrong. And Shannon Anthony,
Correct.
which is the manager here.
Yes.
Yeah. So welcome to the cast at Glocker, and thank you for having us here today.
Welcome to the State Theater.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming.
Excellent, excellent. So I think the first thing I want to do is ask you about a little history of this building, because this is a very historic building, built in 1912, as it says, on the building. If you ever drive past the State Theater in Boyertown, you probably, you can't miss it. And so 1912 is a long time ago. We're talking over 100 years. Can you give us a little history on the State Theater?
I can. In 1912, four businessmen from Boyertown, decided to rebuild a theater in Boyertown because we had the Opera House fire 4 years previously.
Right, which is today's the anniversary of that.
Today is the
Correct.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they felt there ought to be some kind of theater in Boyertown. And many people thought it was too close to that tragic fire to build a theater in Boyertown, but they went ahead and did it. And they built the theater, and at that time it seated 400 people in the theater.
Okay.
And
Quick question, how many does it seat now?
Shannon, you can answer that.
215.
Okay. They must have been tight seats then.
Tight seat or smaller people, I don't
Yeah,
know.
right.
Maybe
anyway,
Americans are just wider.
It changed seating over the years, and I think it's been this way for the last 20, 25 years, probably, Shannon, hasn't it?
When I was a kid, I remember there being different aisles.
Yes.
And so
The different configuration.
a different configuration, yeah.
Interestingly, one of the original men who was a founder was a George Unger, and there are still Unger family members in Boyertown. And when we had the dedication, we had a granddaughter of George Unger, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren of George Unger here for
Wow.
that dedication in 2016.
That's really cool. And that's one of the greatest things about Boyertown. I mean, there's a lot of names that have been here from generation to generation to generation. And you see that a lot, if you look at old buildings with names on it or just look back in history, you'll recognize those same names around here. So they built this building, 1912. People were kind of against it at the time?
They weren't against it from the standpoint they would not come out to it. They were questioning, why would you build a theater so close to the time that we had that tragic fire?
Which was,
4
an
years prior to
amazingly
that.
tragic event.
Yes.
So.
And it originally was not a movie theater, but rather it was for live performances.
Okay.
It was not until probably 3 or 4 years after opening that the movies came on, and they were, of course, silent movies at that time.
Which
And,
we almost were today. We were
yes.
almost a silent
We're
movie
almost
today.
a silent movie.
Yes, we
Yeah.
were. Glad we aren't. It was not until 1930 that sound came on. And the movie at that time was, I think, 5 cents for
It was
children
5 cents. We were
and 10
yeah.
cents for adults. And they originally did not sell popcorn or soda. Leading it to history, they only had a candy bar.
Okay.
And in fact, when it opened, they didn't even serve anything at all. Not until about 1934, when George Klein came on the building, that he installed a candy machine.
Okay.
And later on had the concession stand.
Right. And George Klein, he owned it for a while, correct?
He did, from 1934, I believe, until 1956.
Yeah.
And there were the Klein family. We still have the fifth generation of a Klein family member here at the State Theater.
Okay.
Shannon, perhaps you can speak to Adrian.
Adrian is actually a house manager here, so you'll see her a few nights a week. She runs the movies. Her son, who is now in college, but her son works here during the Christmas break and summer breaks, so it's a family affair. She was the manager. She helped her dad with the theater and her grandfather.
Wow.
So she was the manager at one point, I think in the 80s.
Okay.
So now she's back again
Yeah, yeah.
as a house manager.
George Klein was probably the one party who transformed the theater into a movie house.
Yeah.
Originally, the design was a Spanish-type design, and it was George Klein that put the marquee out in the front
Okay.
to make it look more like the movie houses of today and
That era. Right.
And also did a lot of renovations inside and even on the walls, getting the paintings. And Shannon, you know more about the paintings than I do.
So the murals you're talking
Murals.
about,
The
right?
murals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake is more of an expert in the murals than I am, but I know that they were put on in the 50s.
I think they were actually painted in Depression days. They would have, instead of the people working on the highways and streets, they also hired painters and artists. And in Philadelphia, a group did the paintings for the walls.
Okay.
And that way they kept them employed in their.
Is that the exterior wall as well? Because there's a big mural on the outside.
The mural on the outside was later. That was in the. In fact, I have notes on that. I think it was in 2005.
Okay. Oh, really? It was that recent?
Yes, that was painted in 2005. A artist did several of them in Boyertown. In fact, a lot of the students worked on that also. It depicts Boyertown in various ways: the industry, the farming,
Okay.
the commercial, and retail.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about what's going on tonight, because people still kind of have some time to get over here to the State Theater.
That's
So
a very good point, Matt. I
you're
should have brought that up
watching-
first.
It's all right, ma'am.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you can come down. The movie theater is open tonight. The movie starts at 7. The movie is Wonder Woman.
1984.
1984.
So that's a first-run movie. You guys get first-run movies in
We
here.
do.
And also, tonight's sponsorship, the movie is sponsored by Glocker Realty. So actually, the snacks are sponsored by
snacks,
Glocker Realty.
the snacks, yeah.
That's what I should say.
Right.
So with your ticket, you get a free small popcorn.
Nope.
And
Any size.
Any size popcorn.
Any size. Blow it up. Big.
Nice. So you get any size popcorn and a drink
And a drink.
with
Yep.
your ticket, courtesy of Glocker Realty and Insurance tonight at the movie, which starts at 7.
7.
Now,
So you got plenty of time to come
plenty
come
of
down.
time.
Yeah.
I believe the address here is what, 61?
61 North Reading Avenue.
61 North Reading Avenue in the lovely borough of Boyertown, 19512. Plug that into your GPS, get your code on, grab your device, and listen to the show on your way over here to the show.
Yeah, they'll learn about the historic State Theater, and then they come watch the show, get some popcorn and drink on us. I mean,
What could be better?
you can bring your whole family and say, hey, kids, get whatever you want tonight.
We're
It's on us.
splurging. Dinner is popcorn. At the
Right,
movies.
right. Get whatever you want, popcorn and drink-wise, but that's it.
And
Now listen-
you might add that we are staying safe also. We have people spaced in the theater so that they're sitting not side by side, unless you're a family member.
And that's a good point, Charles.
And-
That's a very good point.
And besides that, we have the theater is clean. Shannon can speak to that better than I can.
We've actually we opened the theater back up again at the end of June,
Okay.
and had to shut down a few weeks ago for 3 weeks. But we've been open since the end of June, showing. Now there's no first runs, technically, except
Right,
Wonder
right.
Woman. So we've been doing classic movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and
Right.
The Goonies,
Yeah,
things
all
like
the
that.
great
All the
ones.
good
I-
80s movies.
Every week I was like, man, they just keep on getting the best movies.
Yeah.
to
So,
replay, yeah.
So when we opened, we did it safely. We encourage 6 feet distance between all of our patrons. We actually made those barriers. We don't have people touching anything.
Right.
Took away, everything that we could do
Mhm.
to
make
make
it
sure that they were safe. We even have a UV light that we scan money with, and so when you give us money, we'll give you clean money back.
Okay.
I mean, besides the limited capacity that they have right now, they also, I think you might have mentioned it, but definitely want to drill into the people at home that every other aisle is blocked off. So there's no way that you're going to have someone sitting behind you breathing on you or anything. You got a nice
Right.
spacing between that.
Right.
So
Right.
Yep.
And then also, I guess there's some requirements that you have to have food, right? So you kind of have like a limit, just a limited menu, enough stuff just to get you past the regulation,
That's
right?
for the bar.
The bar.
The bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the bar.
Let's
then,
talk
right?
about the bar.
Let's talk about the bar.
I'm enjoying the bar right now.
Shannon, go ahead.
So we do have a liquor license. It's a performing art liquor license.
Okay.
We have opened our bar during our shows. We have chimichangas and corn dogs that we serve people when they
Right,
want to
right.
buy a drink, and we actually serve them in their seat. So we're following all
Now, who
All
does the serving?
of the house managers
Okay.
are certified with ramp training,
Okay.
and anyone that serves in the bar is ramp
Is
trained.
trained. Right.
Yes.
Now, what about our buddy, Chopper?
Chopper.
Chopper's in the house
Chopper's
tonight, by the
rocking
way.
the bar?
Chopper is actually our house manager tonight.
Okay.
So it's Chopper's movie.
Chopper.
He's in charge.
Uh-huh.
Typically Friday and Saturday night we have our own bartender, but tonight Chopper's kind of taking over everything.
Taking the helm.
Right.
Right. You're
Right.
in
I
good,
know he has a bit of experience doing that, so everybody's in good hands.
good
here with
hands
Chopper.
with Chopper.
They
Now,
wear many hats when they serve here. and
Yes.
work here.
many, many roles. He's a jack of all trade, master of them all.
Oh,
How about
nice!
that?
I like that. I like that.
So look here, I put up the slideshow, right? So you're going to see the advertisement for the free popcorn. Right after that, you're going to see Choppa with his lovely smiling face. Choppa. Now in that picture, it looks like Chopper's holding up an award. What do you know? What award that was that you were holding up?
Yes, Chopper is our volunteer of the year. for-
Chopper, if you move right over behind her, you'll be on
2019.
camera. There's Choppa.
There he is.
Chopper received our Volunteer of the Year award because he is instrumental in helping us with one of our biggest fundraisers, which is The Right Price, which is advertising the shirt tonight for our game show. Chopper is instrumental in making that event happen, even more so this year because we had to take it on the road.
Is a little trickier, right?
It was.
Yeah.
We usually have it in the theater. This year, we had to adjust the event for an outside performance. It was fantastic. We actually made more this year than any other year.
Wow! How about that?
So it
That's
was
awesome.
It was good, and it was actually Chopper's idea.
Check, 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 check. Yeah, there we go.
Now we're good. All right. Okay. I'm going to start it back up.
Okay.
All right.